Welcome to part 26 of the Learning Table Tennis series. Part 26 is a lesson on how to make the transition from playing topspin off block or counter hit to playing topspin off backspin. The regular advice you would hear when getting a lesson on how to make a topspin off backspin goes something like this. You need to open up the face of your bat. You need to start lower and finish higher. Your swing needs to be more vertical. Perhaps bend your knees more. Use your legs to lift the ball. The list goes on and on. Some of these points are valid and happen when lifting backspin or chop, but I don't like giving such instructions to players as I believe there's a faster way to make the transition. In fact, I've seen countless people make the transition with no instruction as they just trust their brain and body to make the necessary adjustments without conscious thought. This method is only valid when you already have good technique on your stroke. Let's watch a real lesson with TT Edge member Ben learning to play backhand topspin off backspin without instruction. Ben's backhand topspin technique is excellent, which is the reason I chose this stroke for the experiment. There is no action plan in this video and it is just a lesson to prove how learning can occur. Future videos will cover playing topspin off backspin balls with action plans. The quality of the footage isn't perfect as it was recorded via Google Hangouts, however I feel it's good enough to demonstrate the point. You'll see that in just over 3 minutes of play, Ben is able to make the correct adjustments without traditional instruction. In this lesson, I was supported by TT Edge member Large, who is a solid 2000 rated player.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll set it for light backspin, which will probably still be a little bit heavy, and we'll do some backhand top spins. For this exercise, I want you to forget what you think you know about how to play a backhand topspin and how to learn the stroke. Like, if you ask most people, they'll say, oh, you need to start low, you need to, use more effort, you need to lift the ball, you need to open your bat angle, you need to do X, Y, Z. I'm not a fan. That's not how we learn, in my opinion. So we're going to try something different. I just want you to play exactly the same stroke that you were just playing then, and I don't care if every single ball goes into the net for the rest of the session. Does that make sense?
Sure. I don't know.
Everything you think about learning a new stroke, we're going to throw it out the window. I don't want you to try and open your face. I don't want you to try and brush the ball more. I just want you to play the same stroke and let the ball go into the net if that's where it's going to go. I don't mind if they go into your own side of the table. Closer, closer.
Closer, 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 closer.
Be smooth.
That's more nasty.
This looks good.
Wait.
Look it all the way through. Good stroke.
Yeah, let the wrist go through at the end. Okay, cool. So, most of those balls went into the table, right? Or into the net?
Yeah, into the table, and a few inches in front of the net.
Good. Let's do another minute of exactly the same thing. Just try and let the back go at the end.
Okay.
And if it keeps going into the table, it keeps going into the table. I'm totally cool with that. Don't worry about the result.
Ooh.
Looks good. Looks great.
Ben wants to make one.
Great. That looked good.
That's as close as I can get to what I was doing with the Nistern.
It looked good. Did it feel okay?
A couple of them were a little stiff, but
Yeah.
I think that's just the timing.
Sure.
Ball, I didn't have the timing right on the ball, so I reacted a little weird. But yeah, it felt fine. Yeah.
That's good. Was the ball going up higher on the net that time, or was it going into the net in the same way it was in the first time?
Oh, at a certain point, I thought I was not even going to make it to the table with them. Instead of landing like here, they were landing closer to my end line of the table.
So they
That's
went higher, right?
Excuse me?
They went higher this time, is what you're saying, right?
No. They landed shorter, closer to me that time.
But the arc higher.
No, I mean
They
the
landed
result
together,
of
but
your
the arc higher.
the result of your stroke went into the net, right?
Yeah.
Did it go higher on the net in the second run, or did it go lower into the net on the second run?
Well, I would say, first off, none of them made it to the net.
Oh, really?
Realistically speaking, they all landed on my side of the table. And in this run, they landed much closer to my end line that time
Okay,
than
good.
they did the first time. Because
Okay.
I was more over the top of the ball, and so I was landing them like, I don't know if you can see because I can't see myself on your screen, but if you see where my bat is,
Yeah.
that's where they were landing this time.
Yeah, so the internet's not very good to see this type of stuff, unfortunately. I didn't know they were landing that far, that much on your own side. So we'll do another minute, same thing.
Okay.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch that again later when we see the recording, because that's kind of perplexing.
In what way? In what way, Lodge?
Because I mean, some of his strokes look like my stroke when I'm looping backspin. Not perfect, but the racket angles have changed a little bit. So I was a bit surprised that they didn't get. Like, I'm almost sure that they probably went further than he thinks they did, but maybe he's thinking about the first few ones that are in his memory and not the last 2 or 3 that he opened the racket for and he was compensating for. But that's my view. Maybe I'm.
Okay. Let's go.
Good.
That's good. How many did you make?
Excuse me?
How many did you make?
One.
Ben, you made 1. Okay.
You made 1. That's great.
Yeah.
I actually thought you made 3.
Well, the last 2, second to last one made it over the net. The one after that, the last one or next to last one, clipped the net and went off.
I think that there was one you made much earlier that you probably didn't remember.
I probably forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben, just to clarify, I'm a little bit confused. After you're hitting the ball, show me where it's landing.
Those were different. Many of those actually made it to the net.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Distinct from the round before, where they were landing like in here.
Okay.
So yeah, those definitely carried much further.
Okay.
But I was trying, I guess, I don't know. I was trying to not necessarily swing a little harder. Well, I guess that is harder. It's the same thing. But to just get my arm moving faster with the stroke, I think I definitely need to move it faster.
So you've done 3 minutes so far, right?
Yes, all of 3 minutes so far.
Yeah, that's not a long time. So we're going to do it again. I don't want you to necessarily try and hit the ball on the table. I just want you to, aim for the table, but don't try and make the adjustments yourself.
Okay, yes.
I mean, it's great that the ball's going higher and you got 1 or 2 on. That's fine, but that's not exactly what we're doing here.
What are we doing here?
What we're doing here, Large, is where I'm showing you how people actually learn and in relation to how people think they learn. Like, if I went onto a forum and showed them Ben hitting the ball into his own side of the table, what would the advice be? Open the face of the racket, rush the ball, over your head. We all know the advice, right? But in 3 minutes, he's already started almost hitting the ball on the table using exactly the same technique as he used on the topspin ball. Can you explain that?
Yeah, he adjusted.
You know, he did. Who adjusted? He hasn't been asked to do one single thing differently.
Yeah, but he's adjusted.
So what adjusted?
His body's figuring it out.
That's what you've got to say, right? His body's figuring it out.
He's figuring it out, yes.
What part of his body's figuring it out?
What?
What part of his body is figuring it out?
His neurosystem, his intelligence.
Exactly. So it's called neuroplasticity. Basically, his brain is now changing. There are actual changes in his brain that are happening right now. It's not, learning isn't exactly what you think it is. And I'll prove that to you in about 10 minutes. You'll see exactly the result of this experiment, and you'll think differently about learning for the rest of your life.
Well, let me just make sure I understand the ground rules of this experiment. Because before the first minute, you said not to make any effort to hit the ball on the table or to get it over the net. So I'm like actively trying to stop myself from making adjustments and just do the swing you want me to do, the same one I was doing before.
I sort of want the ball going on the table, but I don't care if it goes on the table. I just want you to do your normal backhand swing.
Okay. So let's give it another minute.
Fine. So let's do another minute. We've done how many minutes? 3, is that right?
So far 3, yeah.
Cool. Let's see how long it takes before your brain actually changes and makes the adaptations to play your regular backhand topspin off a backspin ball. That's the experiment.
Okay.
Because if you think 3 minutes is a long time, people...
Oh. Hey, can't get that. But I don't want to step on these balls either.
How many went on, Ben?
What's that?
How many went on the table?
Most of them.
Okay. So,
I can't say, like 80% of them maybe went on the table.
so what you're telling me is 4 minutes ago they landed on the baseline of your own side.
Yes.
And 4 minutes later, they go on the table. And you haven't done a thing to change it.
No.
If you've enjoyed this video, you can go to ttedge.com to view the rest of this series, as well as over 150 instructional videos by world-class player William Hensel. You will also find Brett Clarke's tutorials on ttedge.com that will teach you how to serve like a boss.